Ancient DNA studies reveal that Neolithic Greeks inherited most of their ancestry from populations in the Aegean and Western Anatolia. The Anatolian farmers provided the genetic backbone of the Greek people, shaping their ancestry in ways that are still evident.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Okay, guys, we're going to be seeing a video today, and this is titled "Why Greek DNA Stayed Unchanged." Why is the Greek DNA unchanged? We are going to find out in this video. Right, without further ado, please subscribe and let's get right into this.
In Crete, where myths took their first breath, a secret has waited in silence. Buried within the genetic code of an isolated people lies an anomaly, a whisper from an era long forgotten. A rare mutation alters the body's chemistry, breaking down fat faster, shielding those who carry it from the dangers of excess. A biological advantage, defying expectations. An unseen inheritance, passed through generations. A secret encoded in Greek DNA, shaping survival in ways once thought impossible. But to truly understand this mystery, our story rewinds thousands of years. In the beginning, Greece was home to Mesolithic hunter-gatherers who inhabited the region from around 11,000 BC until the advent of agriculture. These early populations were descendants of older Paleolithic groups and adapted to the rugged Greek landscape. Genetic studies show that Mesolithic hunter-gatherers in Europe commonly carried maternal haplogroups such as U5 and U4, which are frequently found in ancient remains. Their paternal lineages were primarily dominated by haplogroups C1-2 and I, particularly I2, which became widespread among pre-agricultural European populations. Physically, these groups were likely robust, with darker skin and hair, traits suited to their hunting and gathering lifestyle and environmental conditions. Small percentages of maternal haplogroups like U5 and U4 and paternal haplogroup I2 still persist, indicating that some of their genetic legacy survived through the millennia. Then, around 7000 BC, the first farming communities emerged, transforming life from a nomadic existence to settled agriculture. These early farmers were migrants from Anatolia, in what is now modern-day Turkey. They brought with them the foundations of civilization, introducing agriculture to Greece and the Balkans. Ancient DNA studies reveal that Neolithic Greeks inherited most of their ancestry from populations in the Aegean and Western Anatolia. The genetic profile of these Anatolian farmers is well understood through ancient DNA analysis. The dominant paternal haplogroup among them was G2A, which spread widely across early European farming societies. There was also some presence of J2 and C1A, lineages associated with early agricultural expansions. On the maternal side, their mitochondrial DNA belonged to haplogroups H, K, J, T, and N1A, all commonly found in Neolithic farmers across Europe. Physically, these early Anatolian farmers had light to medium skin tones, dark hair, and dark eyes. Their features were distinct from the indigenous European hunter-gatherers, who had darker skin. Instead, the farmers resembled modern Mediterranean populations, blending traits from the Near East and the Aegean. Their genetic legacy remains strong in modern Greeks. While later migrations during the Bronze Age introduced new influences, the Anatolian farmers provided the genetic backbone of the Greek people, shaping their ancestry in ways that are still evident today. During the Bronze Age, two major civilizations thrived in the Aegean: the Minoans on Crete and the Mycenaeans on mainland Greece. The Minoans emerged around 2600 BC, while the Mycenaeans rose to power around 1700 BC. A 2017 genetic study found that at least 75% of Minoan and Mycenaean ancestry came from these early farmers. The remainder traced to older Near Eastern populations from the Caucasus and Iran, introducing an Eastern genetic influence. This research confirmed that the Minoans were an indigenous Aegean people, not foreign arrivals. Where the two groups differed was in Mycenaeans' additional ancestry. Unlike the Minoans, Mycenaeans carried 5 to 10% of their DNA from Eurasian steppe populations. Linked to Eastern European hunter-gatherers and steppe pastoralists. This ancestry supports the theory that Indo-European migrants arrived from the north and mixed with local Aegeans. Genetic modeling suggests Mycenaeans were about 90% Aegean and 10% steppe-related. Paternal haplogroups among Minoans were mainly J2 and G2A, tracing to Anatolian and Aegean Neolithic farmers. Mycenaeans shared these but also carried R1b and R1a, linked to Eurasian steppe migrations. Maternal haplogroups in both groups included HKTJ and N1a, reflecting a mix of Neolithic Anatolian, Near Eastern, and Aegean lineages. Despite later migrations, modern Greeks remain genetically closest to the Mycenaeans. While additional influences shaped Greek ancestry over time, they never replaced the deep ancestral connection to the early Neolithic farmers of the region. After the Bronze Age collapse, the genetic makeup of classical Greeks remained largely unchanged from their Mycenaean ancestors. No large-scale population replacement occurred, and Greeks retained their mix of Neolithic and Bronze Age ancestry, with some admixture from neighboring peoples. The classical era saw Greek expansion through colonization across the Mediterranean and Black Sea. Genetic studies confirm that Greek ancestry spread to regions like southern Italy and Sicily, where modern Sicilians still carry haplotypes, matching Greek source populations. Migration was male-biased, aligning with historical records of Greek merchants and soldiers intermarrying with locals. Within Greece, genetic continuity persisted, though trade and warfare brought some foreign influences. A study of a 5th century BC military burial in Sicily found Greek-led soldiers from as far as northern Europe and the Caucasus. While classical Greeks remained deeply connected to their Bronze Age ancestry, they were not isolated, engaging in ongoing exchanges with surrounding populations. When Greece became part of the Roman Republic in the 2nd century BC, it entered a new phase of genetic history. The Roman era brought increased movement across the Mediterranean, with soldiers, merchants, and settlers traveling between provinces. However, genetic studies suggest that Roman rule had only a limited impact on the Greek gene pool, with minor additions rather than large-scale changes. Southern Italian-like ancestry and Western Mediterranean haplogroups may have entered Greek communities through Roman settlers and traders. However, because Greece already had a large, well-established population, these genetic contributions were gradually diluted. The strongest genetic impact was likely in Roman colonial settlements, such as Corinth, Nicopolis, and Philippi, where Italian settlers and Roman soldiers intermarried with local Greeks. Ultimately, Roman rule brought...
This is a very interesting video showcasing the relationship between the old and the modern world. This video is going to be really helpful for many people who are trying to know their DNA, who are trying to know a thing or two about where they are from exactly. Okay, this is quite interesting.
Cultural and political transformation rather than a major migration event. The core Greek gene pool remained largely intact, with only minor influences from Rome, preserving the deep genetic continuity of the region. After the fall of Rome, Greece became the heart of the Byzantine Empire, shaping its identity for over 1,000 years. The medieval period saw population movements, most notably the Slavic migrations of the 6th to 8th centuries AD. These migrations introduced a northern European genetic element into some Greek regions, particularly in the north and mountainous areas. However, genetic studies confirm that Slavic influence was limited, with Slavic ancestry in Greeks ranging from 0% to 14%, depending on the region. Rather than replacing the Greek population, Slavs were gradually absorbed, adopting Greek language and identity over time. Empire's policies further reinforced Greek continuity. Authorities resettled Greek-speaking families from Anatolia into Greece, diluting the Slavic genetic impact. The empire's vast trade and military networks also brought small genetic contributions from Anatolia, the Caucasus, and the Near East, but these influences remained secondary. Overall, the Byzantine and medieval eras introduced some genetic inputs, but the core Greek ancestry remained firmly rooted in its ancient past. The idea that medieval migrations replaced the Greek population has been decisively disproven by genetic evidence. The Ottoman conquest of Greece in the 15th century introduced new demographic shifts, but its genetic impact remained relatively minor. Under Ottoman rule, migrations and admixture brought small additions of Near Eastern and Central Asian ancestry, yet these influences layered onto the existing Greek gene pool rather than replacing it. One notable Ottoman-era influence was the settlement of Turkic and other Eastern peoples in some Greek territories. While the Turkish conquerors were not numerically dominant in most of Greece, some intermarriage and conversion occurred. A number of Greeks converted to Islam and intermingled with Ottoman Turks, while some Turks in Greek lands took local wives, creating a minor exchange of genes. The empire also relocated various ethnic groups within its territories, bringing Albanian-speaking Arvanites to southern Greece and Vlachs to various regions, contributing to localized genetic variations. Genetic studies from surrounding areas provide insight into this period. Research on Near Eastern genomes suggests that Caucasus-related ancestry spread into the Eastern Mediterranean during Ottoman rule, likely reflecting population movements from Anatolia and the Caucasus. Some Greeks, particularly in the northeast, carry genetic markers traceable to these regions, though their overall presence remains small. Despite these influences, the Greek gene pool remained largely intact.
Okay.
By the end of Ottoman rule, the vast majority of Greeks still descended from their ancient and medieval ancestors, with only minor admixture from Turks, South Slavs and Albanians. The deep genetic continuity of the Greek population remained unbroken, even after centuries of Ottoman rule. Centuries passed. Empires rose and fell. Yet through war, famine and migration, something endured, an unseen inheritance, encoded in the DNA of an isolated people. In Crete, scientists discovered a rare genetic mutation in the APOC3 gene, one that alters fat metabolism, offering protection against cardiovascular disease despite high-fat diets. This variant, known as R19X, significantly lowers triglyceride levels and increases good HDL cholesterol, reducing the risk of heart disease. It was once thought to be exclusive to the Amish population, but recent research has revealed its presence in an isolated Cretan community, where it has risen in frequency due to genetic drift. The presence of R19X in Crete adds another chapter to the story of Greek genetic resilience. While history shaped the culture and language of the Greek people, their DNA carries the legacy of adaptation, endurance, and survival against the forces of time. Modern Greeks inherit a deep and complex ancestry shaped over millennia. DNA studies show they cluster closely with Southern Europeans, particularly Italians and Albanians, while maintaining genetic ties to the Balkans and Eastern Mediterranean. A strong genetic continuity links modern Greeks to the Mycenaeans. However, regional differences exist due to historical migrations. Northern Greeks, especially in Macedonia, Thrace, and Epirus, show a slightly higher Balkan influence from Slavs, Vlachs, and Bulgarians, though they still retain a predominantly Greek genetic identity. The Aegean Islanders, including Cretans and Dodecanese Greeks, have less Slavic admixture and stronger ties to the ancient Aegean gene pool, with traces of Middle Eastern influence from maritime trade. Greek genetic continuity extends beyond Greece itself. Greek-speaking communities in southern Italy, such as the Greco and Pontic Greeks from the Black Sea, share the core Greek genetic signature. Although the Ottoman era introduced new population movements, genetic studies show little to no significant Turkish genetic impact on Greeks. Unlike Anatolia, Greece did not experience large-scale Turkic settlement. Some minor Central Asian ancestry is detectable in certain individuals, particularly in northern Greece and the Aegean, likely due to intermarriage and conversions during Ottoman rule. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe.
Okay, that's really nice. Okay, these are just the many reasons why the Greek DNA stayed and remained unchanged. Okay, please let us know in the comment section what your DNA is or what you think your DNA is after watching this video. Okay, thank you for watching and see you guys on my next one. Bye.